My name is Natalie Barringer, and this is my story. I would say my story with mental health, it kind of like went on my entire life. I've had symptoms of anxiety since I was like 5 years old, and that was something that I definitely had to like navigate throughout when I was young. And then I was formally diagnosed when I was about 11 with anxiety and severe depression at the time. My brother passed away when I was 11, and that's what kind of kickstarted the whole thing. Um, he, it was pretty unexpected, and so it kind of like, turned everything upside down. Um, and everyone in my family was grieving. It was just really hard. So my mom ended up taking me and my sister in, and we got formally diagnosed and everything and evaluated. And from there, I've just been, dealing with it my entire life. It's definitely been an up and down type of thing. It's definitely something you have to nurture and like keep ahead of. Um, I've been on medication since I was about 11, like I said, and that's also not been easy. There's things that, aren't great with that. There's times when you take a medicine for years and years and you think, this is what's going to work. This is awesome. Like, whatever. And then 2 years later, it stops working and you have to start from square one again. And like the also thing about that is like, you never know how it's really going to affect you. Everyone's different with that kind of stuff. So it's kind of like trial and error. And it's just like super mentally exhausting sometimes figuring out like what's going to work together, what's not going to work. If the symptoms are, worsening, like I've been on some that made it 10 times worse when it's supposed to help you. And that was also a thing like, so my brother passed away from fentanyl poisoning when he was 19, and he struggled with mental health a lot throughout his entire life as well. And my parents did the best that they could always. They always advocated for us, always wanted the best for us. And he also had ADHD as well. So he had anxiety, depression, and ADHD. So all of those together is really hard to medicate, especially with ADHD, just because a lot of times things that work for anxiety is going to make your ADHD worse and vice versa. So he ended up just wanting some relief, and he took some stuff that he thought would help him, and it ended up being laced with fentanyl, and he passed away when he was 19 on accident. So that was also something that like all of us never saw coming, and that was something that I had to navigate at 11 years old, which is like crazy now that I think about it, like now that I'm older. But it's definitely something that you don't have an option. You just have to keep going. And I think that that's a good mindset to have. Like a lot of people always talk about that like you don't have an option to give up at that point. All you want to do is like get better. So you just kind of learn to live with it and learn to, honor him in different ways. And luckily I had an amazing family and amazing support system to lean on my entire life. So I was really grateful for that. But there's definitely times when it's not easy, and things are not, readily accessible. So it's just stuff you have to navigate. But that's like the gist of what I went through in my story. I think just growing up and always knowing that this was here, and always like hearing about, the run and things like that, and like it always being present in schools and stuff like that was always really cool. And it was just nice to know that like, an organization was, ready and readily available and here for people. And like there's no questions asked, like there's always people that can help you and want to help you, and they just want the best for you. So I think that was always really cool, and that definitely always like helped me to know that there was always someone in my corner. And I think that it's just like a really amazing thing that you guys are doing. So I think just like for me, I always want to support it because I always want that for somebody else. I always want there to be a place for people where people can go and know that they won't be judged, and they, like I said, that they have people in their corner. Seeing all those kinds of people like from so many different walks of life coming together is such a beautiful thing, I think. And like I think that really motivates a lot of people, and it just shows that like community is such a big thing, and it's so important in a lot of people's stories, and a lot of people wouldn't be where they were if they didn't have community. And I would also just say like healing isn't linear, it never will be, and you really just have to like trust yourself and know that no matter how hard things get, there'll always be people that like want you here and want you to keep going. And things are not going to be great all the time. It's also not pretty all the time. But like, I think also always believing in yourself, and like, as cheesy as it sounds, like being your only like cheerleader at the end of the day is really gonna like help. Like, obviously it's amazing to lean on other people, but you have to like believe in yourself, and if you're gonna be able to like get through what you're going through. And I would also just say, like, you know, at the end of the day, I always think about it like it's not really a choice for me. Like, I've never, you know, it's not really a choice. You just have to do it. So it's like, if you can make it as enjoyable and show other people how beautiful it can be to get through hard things, then it's definitely worth it for me. And I think that the run like also really shows that like, you know, all those people are gathering together because they want to help people and show people that like it's not pretty all the time, but that there's people out there that care and love you and want you to succeed and like heal and do better for yourself. The advice I would give to people when it feels impossible to move forward is like, it really is just in the baby steps. Like, if today you feel like you can't get out of bed, like, get out of bed and get dressed and then go lay back in bed or things like that. Like, you really just have to do baby steps, because if you think that like, you know, things are going to happen in one day, it's not. You really just have to like understand that it's a journey and things are not instantaneous. And you also have to give yourself grace. I think that's the biggest thing, because that's something I definitely struggle with, is I'm always like, you know, you've gone through things in the past, like, you can do this is easy compared to that. But it's like, that's no way to talk to yourself. And you have to understand that things are hard sometimes, whether they seem hard to other people or not. It doesn't matter. That's what you're going through, and that's how you feel. My future is something that I'm so excited for. You know, when I was young, never thought I'd get to this point in my life. So I'm always just really proud of myself for getting here. I am going to be a sophomore in college. I am going to St. Cloud Tech University, and I'm doing surgical tech. So I just finished my prereqs and I got into my program. So I start in August, and I'll be graduated by next June. And then I take my test, and then I'm able to, you know, get a big girl job. So my goal for the next 5 to 10 years is probably just, you know, get a good job and save up money and be able to move out on my own. That's something that I'm so excited for. And I don't know, things can happen that you never think can happen, like good things. Like, I always think like, I know what I'm going to do, but I never really know what's going to happen. So probably right now I know for sure my career will be there, my family, and hopefully I'll be like moved in with my boyfriend maybe by that time or something. So we'll see. I don't know. You'll never know when that can happen. Never be embarrassed by what you went through. I think for a long time I held a lot of embarrassment for like, you know, going through something at such a young age. I was like, people always talked about it, and it was something that I was like always too scared to talk about, because I was just like, I don't want to be the center of attention. I don't want people to, you know, that's all they know me for. I never wanted that. But what you went through is something that made you who you are today. And it's very important for you to be proud of that. I would say just like, yeah, what you went through is why you're here today. And you should be proud of that. And like, every day you got through yesterday, and that's important in itself. And you got through all of the hardest things ever because you're here right now. And yeah, I would just say be proud of what you went through. Don't be ashamed. No matter what happened, it's beautiful that you're still here.